Hey everybody, I'm Anna J. Walner with the Author Library, and today I am pleased to have with me Nathalie Plamondon Thomas. Nathalie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Anna, for having me. I'm thrilled to be on your show.
You.
It's awesome, awesome, awesome. So, see, I'm a confidence expert. I focus on the voice inside our head and negative self-talk. Like, that voice that tells you that you're not good enough, or like we don't talk to other people like that. You're not gonna look at uh, talk to your girlfriend and say, hey, you look fat in these jeans, or oh, you're starting your own business, it's never going to work, you're not good enough. But we say that to ourselves, like we trash talk ourselves all the time. Like, who would want to be your friend if you talk to them the same way you talk to yourself, right? But hey, somehow it happens to all of us, and that's what I focus on. And I'm a confidence expert. I've created a system in order to reprogram that little voice inside our head.
Yeah, I think we all have that imposter syndrome as well on in fiction authors to say, your book is not good enough. It's not going to sell. No one's going to like it. You're going to get bad reviews. And so there's that intrinsic sort of thing inside of us as humans where self-doubt really does creep in. And so that's what you work towards working on in the Think Yourself series. And I love the concept. Can you explain the power of mind power
Yes,
itself?
absolutely, absolutely. So it all started about 12 years ago. I was starting to build my speaking business. I wanted to become a professional speaker. So I needed a video done. So I hired a cameraman, and we had three cameras. So one for the close up, one for the wide angle, and then one from the back to see the large audience. But the problem was there was only 20 people in the room. So we kept asking them to move from one section to another so that when we would put all the segments together, it would look like there was a large audience. I remember my first paid speaking engagement, I got a phone call from an organization who wanted me to train their sales force. And they asked for my rate. And I didn't have a corporate rate. So I go, 250. So they say, okay, so for 4 hours, there would be 1,000. I meant 250 for the whole thing, right? And I go, oh yes, that's correct, $1,000. I almost choke. And then I hang up the phone and I like, oh, I got the contract. I should
I
have been
love it.
happy. But the truth is, I remember sitting in my office feeling like a fraud. I was hearing this voice in my head. You're not a real professional speaker. You don't deserve $1,000 paycheck for an afternoon. See, this video I had made to make the crowd look bigger than it really was, and my made up corporate rate, none of it was real. I was just trying to look more than I really was because I felt like just me was not enough. And that's when I realized I have to get rid of this negative self-talk, because this voice inside my head is not helping me. So I spent the last decade studying neuroscience, and I created a system, a 3-step system, in order to change that negative self-talk inside our head to support us. So the way it works, you said, tell us the process of that neuroscience. I'll tell you quickly because we don't have that much time, but I'll do a quick brain 101 for your listeners. So the brain has many parts. So we'll talk about the unconscious mind and then the logical mind. So the logical mind can do 5 to 9 things at once. So you can handle 5 to 9 pieces of information every second. That's cool. You can multitask. So that's why while you are doing grocery shopping, you could be on a meeting on your headset on your phone and do emails at the same time and keep your kid from falling off the cart and still notice the dude at the back of the store winking at the girl in the seafood department. And you can do all this at once, right? But have you ever noticed, and tell me, Anna, if it happened to you, let's say you're driving to a new address, beautiful day, windows are down, music is on. And as you come closer to that new address, you start looking at the numbers on the houses. Have you ever caught yourself having to lower the volume on the radio? Yes, right? You have to lower the volume on the radio. How is that supposed to make you see the numbers better? Because when you have the foot on the brake, the foot on the accelerator, the red light ahead, the kid that's about to cross the street, the lady that might cut you off, and then there's a dude in the car next to you winking at you, gross. So when you add looking at the numbers on the houses, the music becomes the one too many. So the logical mind is not that great after all. 5 to 9 is not that much. It's not that many things at once. When you live at a logical mind, you're always just trying to catch up. It's like you have this dream, you're trying to build your business, and now you get up super early, and then you start writing your book, and then you think you want to have better ideas, and then you accept clients from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. and then you do your research, and then you have to take your kids to school and sport in between your meetings and between your writing, and then you have zero life balance, you're exhausted, and you feel like you're getting further and further away from your dream. It is like you're trying to go to New York City, but you're in an aircraft that's flying to Los Angeles. You're never going to get there if you stay in that aircraft, because that's where you want to go. So a lot of people ask me, so what do you do then? How do you get off that aircraft? And I say, no, don't get off that aircraft. Stay on the aircraft, but talk to the pilot and say, hey, bud, do you mind turning around? That's where I'm going. Can you imagine how much faster you're going to get there once you talk to the pilot? So that is what I do. That pilot is the unconscious mind, that second part of the brain that I wanted to introduce. The unconscious mind can process 2.3 million pieces of information every second. 5 to 9 for the logical mind, 2.3 million pieces of information every second for the unconscious mind. That's where the power is. So that's what I do.
That sounds like a lot of neural reprogramming to delve that deeply into the subconscious mind. So how do we get there? Is it a process of mental reprogramming, meditation, a combination?
Okay, so I will give you a few techniques. So I'll give you a two-step technique in a second. But the first thing we need to understand is how to talk to that pilot. So I call that pilot your personal assistant. So you all have a personal assistant. So without being super complicated process, if you understand this, you got it made, okay? So your personal assistant is in your head, writing down everything you say or think all the time. But the problem is people wake up in the morning, they look at themselves in the mirror and they say, I'm so tired. I'm so stressed out. I think I'm gaining weight. So then your personal assistant writes it down. Tired, stressed out, gaining weight, got this, tired. What can I do for this? Oh, I know, I'm going to keep her awake all night. She's not going to be able to sleep. She's going to be really tired in the morning. Check. Stressed out. What can I do for this? She wants to be stressed out. Oh, I'm going to make her delete a very important appointment in her calendar. Oh, that's going to be stressful. Check. Gaining weight. Oh, that's an easy one. I can certainly find a chocolate bar, something deep fried for her to eat today. And if all fails, more wine tonight. Check. So your personal assistant is constantly listening to everything that you say or think and makes it happen. So be very careful what you tell your personal assistant, because your personal assistant is going to help you achieve it, whatever that is. So we have to first, it's not like meditation, neuroscience and processes, because that's what I do with my clients. I do complicated processes, let's say, that I'm trained for, and then we tap right into the unconscious mind. And it starts with you, even though you might not at a logical level yourself be able to reprogram years of baggage and old stuff that you might be carrying and change all your past. There's a quick technique you can do by yourself that might help. It's a two-step technique that I'll give you to really go into the unconscious level. That's what I do. So I do, some specific protocols that I'm trained for. But here's that two-step technique. It starts with affirmation, and you've probably heard of affirmations before. A lot of people are doing affirmations. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but affirmations don't work if you don't believe them. And that's the problem. Like when I work with the Think Yourself Thin program. So Think Yourself Thin was my first number one international bestseller. And if I work with the Think Yourself Thin program with clients and I say, okay, look in the mirror, like we're talking about clients that are highly overweight, right? I'm not going to say, okay, look in the mirror and say, I am thin. Because your personal assistant is like, no, we're not. Or if I work with the Think Yourself Wealthy program, clients that are in deep financial struggles, I'm not going to say, okay, put your hands on your hips and repeat, I am rich. I am rich. Because your personal assistant is like, no, we're not. What are you talking about? Oh, we must be watching a vampire movie. Vampires don't exist. She's not talking to me. I'm not writing this down. Right? So you have to start with that two-step technique. The first step is to repeat that negative thought that you just heard in the past with I used to. Let's say you hear yourself say, oh, I'm so stressed out. Then you catch yourself and you say, wait, what did I just say? Personal assistant, wait, I don't want you to write that down on your clipboard. I used to think that I was always stressed out. I used to always be stressed out. So you repeat it in the past. So then your personal assistant is like, oh, yeah, stressed out. I have that on my list right here. What do you mean? Like, oh, why are you talking about this in the past? I used to. Are we done with this? Or are we still doing? What's going on here? So that's when you follow up with the step number 2, a progressive statement. A progressive statement starts with I am willing to learn, or I'm in the process of. Okay. So then you'd say, I used to be stressed out. Now I'm willing to learn how to create a balanced life for myself. I'm in the process of being more calm. So you say what you want, not what you don't want. Because a lot of my clients come to me and they tell me what they don't want, right? It would be like you're doing a kitchen renovation and then you tell your contractor to paint your kitchen not blue. Huh? Like, what color do you want your kitchen? But all my clients do that. They come to me and they say, Nathalie, can you help me? I don't want to be stressed anymore. I don't want to be impatient with my kids. I don't want to be broke. And I don't want to be running everywhere all the time. So they say their brain hears stress, rush, impatient, and broke, right? So we have to say what we want, not what we don't want. Like, close your eyes for a second. And even at home, close your eyes. If you're driving, because a lot of people listen to podcasts while if you're driving, don't close your eyes. Keep your eyes open. Everybody else, close your eyes. So now close your eyes and do not visualize Mickey Mouse wearing a yellow tuxedo standing on top of a pink Mercedes Benz. Do not visualize Mickey Mouse wearing a yellow tuxedo standing on top of a pink Mercedes Benz. And you can reopen your eyes. Did you see it?
Yes.
Right? Even if I said do not visualize, because the brain has to process the whole thing before it can negate it. So tell your personal assistant what you want with that two-step technique. You hear yourself say, what are we saying? What have we said a lot in this past year? I'm so bad with technology, right? So many people have said that because everybody's moving to online and all this, right? So I used to think I was bad with technology. Now I'm willing to learn where it is that I have to click on Zoom to be able to continue my business or whatever, right? So use that two-step technique.
I think now one wonderful thing that that this process can help people with is reintegrating into society, because we've been so introverted, forced introversion, that we've lost a lot of social skills. So I used to have very good interpersonal social skills, but I have since lost them because they've, it's like speaking a different language. If you don't use it, then you lose it. So I think that this is a great thing for people to keep in mind when it comes time. Now we're moving back to that availability of freedom to get back into the stores. And as long as you're vaccinated and, safe and follow proper protocols, of course, everyone, then, we're going to have to relearn. I'm willing to learn how to be the person that I was before. I'm in the process of being
adapting
Yes. So that is amazing. And totally saw Mickey Mouse.
You
standing
did?
on-
On a pink Mercedes Benz.
But funny. No, that was funny. That was funny. So, you're, as you mentioned, a life coach, a motivational speaker, a #1 bestseller. I mean, you are absolutely practicing what you preach, and people see that success and that positivity. I mean, just talking with you, you know, for the time that we have, I mean, you come off as I mean, you are genuinely just a very positive and upbeat person. So, would you say it's something that that you had to learn how to work at, or is that just a natural part of who you are?
So of course, I would lie if I said that, oh, I've always been positive. Oh yeah, I was
Right.
born like this, right?
Right.
It happens to everybody, and sometimes I even like to give the analogy of being like a brain dentist. You know, like even though we try to be positive and to rephrase our thoughts and all of this, it's like going to the dentist. We, even if we brush our teeth really, really well, we floss, we mouthwash and do all the perfect hygiene and take care of ourselves, and we do all that. But yet, if you have a cavity, it's not by brushing your teeth really, really well over top of the cavity that the cavity is going to go away, right? So sometimes you need to go to the dentist, and it's fine. Nobody has ever told their friend, oh, what, you have to go to the dentist? Gross. No, like it's absolutely normal, because everybody eats food gets stuck, and things happen. I like to give the example that you all have a drawer that you have all the answers for, like 2.3 million pieces of information every second. Your brain is so powerful, and that personal assistant is working for you all the time. You can do whatever you want. You have all the answers you want inside this drawer. You have the solution to everything, and you have the how to reach all your dreams. But the problem is there's a lot of stuff that's accumulated on top, and there's lots of experiences. There's trauma, there's anger, fear, hurt, sadness, guilt, there's negative emotion, there's limiting beliefs, all the things that we think that, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm an imposter, or I will always live paycheck to paycheck, or I will always gain the weight back, or like there's a lot of limiting belief. Nobody's going to buy my book, or there's a lot of limiting beliefs that we have like that, that are on top of those solutions at the bottom of the drawer. So I'm like the dentist that helps you get rid of all this stuff and clean up the drawer, so that at the bottom you find your solution, because we have it. We know, we always know. Like, let's say you're in the kitchen cooking, and then your daughter comes behind you and say, hey mom, and you go, what? And this is not how you wanted to respond, but you were thinking about a very stressful situation that you had at work that day, and then you were stressed over that, and then stuff happens to us, but then you answered with what was on top of this drawer, that stress from work. But you know deep down in the drawer that you wanted to say, yes, sweetheart, what can I do for you? We have the answers. We know. We always know. It's just that sometimes we don't do what we know, because we have so much crap that's accumulated on top. And it happens to everybody. It happens to me. I have a coach. I have somebody that I work through stuff with. And trauma doesn't just mean you have to have been in a house on fire, or have been in the army and saw genocide or whatever. It's not that. A trauma can just happen if, as a kid, your favorite doll was broken under the tire when you left it in the driveway because your dad rolled over it, and that can be a trauma. Like, we don't know the things that may have impacted us, and that's what I do. I work with people to get rid of that stuff, because we don't need to carry all that. So many people are carrying bad stuff, and we don't
Clear
need
the
to.
clutter. You know,
Clear.
Get the clutter out of the drawer so that you can get to the good stuff underneath.
Yes, absolutely.
I like that a lot, and I'm going to try that tonight, because I have a very difficult time sleeping.
Okay, let's do it right now. I have a very difficult time sleeping. What do you want to say? I used to have a very difficult time sleeping.
I used to have a very difficult time turning my mind off.
Okay, so what are you willing to learn now?
I'm willing to learn how to calm my thought processes before I go and lay down in bed.
Awesome. And what you can do is give your personal assistant a job and say, hey, while I sleep comfortably, while I do all this, while I rejuvenate, tomorrow morning when I wake up, you will have done all the thinking for me in the background. Because your personal assistant is like, I have, you know, I have lots of time. I have like 7 hours for you. So I'll write your next chapter for you. Or why don't you write my article for me? Why don't you write my next blog for me? Why don't you pack the stuff that I will need to go this? Why don't you do my grocery shopping list while I, you know, all the stuff that we think about when we go to sleep, give that to your personal assistant and say, while I sleep, you go do that. And tomorrow morning, when I wake up rejuvenated, feeling amazing and refreshed for having an amazing night of sleep right through, then I will get up, I will have breakfast, I will sit in front of my computer, and you will tell me what to type because you've already spent 7 hours writing on that chapter for me. Try that tonight.
Absolutely will, because my brain tends to run rampant at night.
It used to. Yes, catch yourself.
I need to. I need to, you know, like have a rubber band and snap it every time I say I do or I did. Say I did. I used to.
Yeah.
I used to let my brain run rampant every night as I laid there, and then it just is. It's a vicious cycle because then you become irritated that you can't sleep, and then you think about being irritated because you can't sleep, and then you get up, and then that disrupts your melatonin and the physical parts of your body, and so it's just a vicious cycle. I'm going to try that tonight. I promise you I am.
Yes, absolutely. And not just tonight. Try it 50,000 times a day. I was on a TV interview 2 years later with a host, and then she said, oh, I remember interviewing you 2 years ago and you told me about this technique, and guess what, I've used it at least like 12, 15 times. I'm like, that's it? In 2 years you use the technique 15 times? You have to use it every day, every thought, all the time. Everything that you say, ask yourself, do I want this on my notepad? Do I really want my personal assistant to work on this for me? So every single thought, use it all the time, all the time.
Yeah, it really is. It really is a form of mental reprogramming and that's something that you and I both have a little bit of experience with, is cognitive behavioral therapy or neural reprocessing, where you actually, through these repetitive affirmations that you believe and using the two-step process that Nathalie just spoke of. I used to have trouble falling asleep, but now I'm willing to calm myself and my mind before I rest my head on the pillow. Then the more you do it, the more it works, and the more it comes naturally to do that. It's just like brushing your teeth. You know, before you go to bed, it's a habit because you've been doing it. Well, I'm 40. So
Really?
I've been doing it for, you know, a lot of decades. So it's just a natural thing for me to do. If I don't brush my teeth at night, then, then I must be, really sick or something. So, so it does become a habit. You have to practice anything for it to become a habit, just like exercise, just like, nutrition. It's got to become a habit.
100%, 100%.
So what simple things can authors, and just, we've already covered this, starting small. So was there a defining moment for you where you said to yourself, I have to change the way that I think. Personally.
Well, definitely this voice in my head when I was trying to build my career was always telling me, oh, well, you're not good enough. You can, especially the fact that I'm French and I've learned Spanish. So Spanish is my second language, and then started to learn English. So I remember the voice telling me, what? You want to be like a motivational speaker, like in English? You want to write books in English? You don't even speak English. What's wrong with you? And it's true, my English was really bad. I remember I was teaching yoga back then. And then at the end of a yoga class, you know, when everybody's laying down on the floor during the relaxation, I wanted them to relax their face, relax their jaw, and I wanted them to put their tongue on the roof of their mouth. So I said, put your thumb behind your tits. And then everybody started to laugh, and I didn't know why, because I didn't know how to pronounce teeth, you know, and I didn't even know why they were laughing. And anyway, my English was really bad, but somehow the problem was not my English. And I know that just in Canada, there's 22% of people that don't speak English at home. And in the States, it's 25%. So I know that I'm not the only one, because most books are in English. Most business transactions happen in English. And if English is not your first language, I know what you're going through. And this small town girl here that didn't speak English is now a professional speaker in English. And I've written 15 books in English. So if I can do this, everybody can, okay? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It really is truly amazing what the power of the mind can do, the mindset that you have. And what would be your recommendation for, let's just say, starting the day off right? Something that a lot of people struggle with, especially lately in the past, let's say year and a half, due to certain circumstances.
Yeah.
Starting the day off on a positive note, what's the best thing that you can do?
So the best thing is, it starts the day before. I have to say, the best thing that you want to do in the morning starts the night before. So one of my number one sellers is Think Yourself Grateful. It's probably my favorite one. It's actually a journal. So Think Yourself Grateful is a gratitude journal that there's about 40 pages of theory that explains to you why that works. And then you have one page to fill every day. And you fill out that page, and it's asking you to talk to that personal assistant and tell your personal assistant, one, what you've accomplished, what step did you take towards your goal, and what is a positive emotion you chose to feel during the day, right? What is a positive belief that you rephrased with your technique? Like, is there something? And then, today I am grateful for, so you say what you're grateful. And the last question is, tomorrow I will end the day having done this important thing. So already you're planning all this for the next day. You're saying what you're grateful for. The first time that you fill this out, you'll be like, I don't know. I'm just going to make something up, I guess. Then the next day, you arrive at your page again and you say, oh, I still didn't do anything towards my goal today. But as your personal assistant says, what, am I going to be asked this again tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I better make sure that I do something towards my goal, because she's going to ask me again, right? And then it will say, tomorrow I will end the day having done this important thing. So all the time, here's a positive belief that I chose to create today. So then the next day, your personal assistant is like, oh, was I supposed to create a positive belief, change a limiting belief into a positive one again today? I didn't do it. Oh, darn it. Well, tomorrow I'll do it though. So then the next day you try that page again, and all of a sudden your personal assistant is like, yeah, got this. Remember when we were in the lineup at the grocery store, and then you were freaking out and you were like, oh, this is taking too long. And then you said, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this moment and choose to feel amazing. So that's that positive emotion you choose to feel right there and there. Because now your personal assistant is going to start planning for you, because it knows that every night it will be asked these questions. So you better be prepared. You better do what you said you would do, because now you're going to be asked for it. So it might take like 3, 4, 5 days before your personal assistant gets used to creating, but that's creating the life that you want.
And you're training your personal assistant during this time as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it, guys. Definitely check out the links to Nathalie's YouTube video, her Amazon author page, where you can find these great books, and also her website as well, where you can learn more about her and her career and her mission. And Nathalie, it's been an awesome experience having you on the show today. Thank you so much for sharing your positivity with me.
Thank you so much, Anna, for inviting me. There's one more gift for your audience. If you go to thinkyourself.com/confidence guide, you can download the confidence guide. So you know that two-step technique I gave you, that's one key that you can use. So the confidence guide has lots more questions for you that will help you. So thinkyourself.com/confidence guide, and you can all go download it for free.
thinkyourself.com/confidence guide. Make sure to go and check that out, guys. I will also have that link in the description below, so check that out. Thank you all again. As always, subscribe because you don't want to miss out on more amazing content and guests. And for everyone out there, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.